The sun is a hammer on the cracked earth. It shimmers and waves, distorting the horizon into a watery mirage where sky and dust become one. Kale lies flat on the scorching rock, the grit of sand coating his sweat-slicked skin. His eyes, shielded by a calloused hand, are fixed on the singular point of meaning in this endless desolation, the slow, rhythmic sway of the great spine of old Scar. The Giganotosaurus moves with the ponderous gravity of a mountain on the march. Each footfall a dull tremor felt more in the bones than heard with the ears. For 3 generations, the Dust-Walker clan has followed this titan. They are its shadow, its pilot fish, a small, desperate band of early humans whose entire existence is a gamble on the behemoth's next kill. They do not hunt. They wait. They are not warriors. They are ghosts who live in the wake of a walking extinction event that is, for now, their god. Old Scar is ancient, even for his kind. A network of white, hardened tissue crisscrosses his snout and flank, a testament to battles fought long before the first of the Dust-Walkers learned to read his moods. His movements are slower now, his roars less frequent, but the terror he projects remains the clan's most vital resource. It is an invisible wall that keeps the smaller, faster predators at bay. When old Scar fells an iguanodon, its death bellows echoing across the flats, the clan watches from a distance, their mouths watering, their bodies trembling with a mixture of hunger and primal fear. They wait as the giant trips and tears, its massive head slick with gore. They wait as it gorges itself into a stupor. They wait until it lurches away toward a rare patch of shade to sleep. Only then do they move. This strange chapter of hominid history is written in the footprints of a monster, a tale of survival not through dominance, but through proximity to it. Today, the kill is a larger neathopod, its carcass a bloody ruin, as old Scar numbers of. Duna, the clan's eldest, gives a signal a low, guttural click. The dozen members of the clan scramble from their hiding places, their stone scrapers and sharpened rib bones flashing in the relentless sun. They work with a frantic, desperate efficiency, hacking away strips of meat, tearing sinew from bone. Their focus absolute. There is no celebration, only the grim business of gathering calories. But today, something is different. They are not alone. From the shimmering heat, a new pack emerges, smaller, leaner, feathered in dusty brown and streaked with black. The Austroraptors move with a liquid, unnerving grace. There were 2 a season ago. Now there are 7. They do not circle at a distance as they once did. They approach, their intelligent eyes fixed not on the carcass, but on the people. Their presence is a violation, an intrusion into the sacred space of the kill. They represent a different kind of predator, one whose cunning is a far greater threat than old Scar's mindless power. This form of prehistoric life is not a force of nature to be avoided, but a rival intelligence to be outwitted, and the clan has no answer for them. The raptors do not attack. They watch, as the Dust-Walkers retreat with their bloody prizes. The pack follows at a distance, their movements synchronized, a single intelligence spread across 7 bodies. It is a new kind of pressure, a mental siege. The clan feels the weight of their gaze long after they have huddled into the shallow caves that serve as their home. The fear the raptors inspire is different from the R-time terror of old Scar. The Giganotosaurus is a force of nature, like a storm or an earthquake. It is to be avoided and respected. The Austroraptors are a rival intellect, a direct challenge. It feels personal. For the first time, the clan is not just prey, they are the enemy. The next few weeks stretch into a thin, agonizing band of hunger. The kill was their last decent meal. Old Scar is weakening. A deep, suppurating wound on his left thigh, likely from the horn of a dying triceratops, has begun to fester. He now walks with a pronounced limp, his colossal weight causing him visible pain with every step. His hunts become desperate, clumsy failures. The clan watches from the mesas as he lunges for a fleet-footed gallimimus. His charge is slow, his jaws snapping on empty air. They see him attempt to ambush a heavily armored Giganotosaurus, only to roar in frustration as the creature hunkers down. Its stale club a formidable deterrent, he no longer has the agility to circumvent. Each failure is a death sentence for the people who follow him. The supply of dried meat is gone. The children's cries are thin and weak. Hominid faces a mask of grim resolve. But her eyes betray a depth of fear she cannot hide. The raptors grow bolder. They no longer wait for the clan to be away from the caves. They ghost along the perimeter. Their chirps and clicks are constant, a nerving chorus. They are waiting for the clan to grow too weak to defend itself. They are no longer interested in the carrion left by the giant. They now see the scavengers themselves as the easier meal. Kale sits on an overlook. His stomach a hollow ache. He watches a small herd of Austroraptor pecking at desert shrubs, their long necks bobbing. They are too fast, too alert. Old Scar, in his current state, could never catch one. But Kale sees something else. He sees the shape of the land. A narrow box canyon lies a half-day's walk to the north. If the herd could be driven into it, they would be trapped. An idea sparks, terrifying in its audacity. He scrambles down to the cave, gathering the other adults. He does not have words for strategy or tactics. Instead, he uses a stick to draw in the dust. He draws the long legged birds. He draws the canyon. Then, he draws a crude, hulking shape at the canyon's mouth-old scar. Finally, he draws small figures, his people, behind the herd, making noise, driving them forward. The clan stares at the drawing. The silence is absolute. He is proposing the unthinkable to not just follow their god, but to guide its hand, to become the architects of the hunt. This is a leap in human evolution, a shift from passive opportunism to active intervention. The risk is astronomical. If they misjudge the giant's temper, or its hunger, they could become the meal themselves. But as Una looks from the drawing to the starving faces of her clan, she knows there is no choice. The old way is dead. It died with old Scar's failing strength. She gives a single, sharp nod. The plan is madness. A prayer whispered into the teeth of a hurricane. Caden to others move in a wide, sweeping out behind the herd of Austroraptor. Their movements slow and fluid. Una and the rest lie in wait near the canyon's entrance, their hearts pounding a frantic rhythm against the dust. The herd is skittish. A snapped twig, a dislodged stone, is all it takes. Kale rises, waving his arms, and a chorus of desperate shouts rips through the quiet air. The bird miners like dinosaurs panic, their heads shooting up, and they bolt directly towards the canyon. They pour into the narrow opening, a river of feathered bodies, and then the earth shakes. Old Scar, drawn by the commotion and the scent of panicked flesh, emerges from behind a rock outcropping. He looks confused, his massive head cocked, his wounded leg dragging. For a heart-stopping moment, he seems to ignore the trapped herd, his small, baleful eye fixing on the small, shouting figures of the ancient humans. But the instinct of an apex predator, honed over a lifetime of slaughter, takes over. He bellows, a sound of pure, world-sending rage, and charges into the canyon. The Austroraptor are annihilated in a storm of teeth and claws. The clan can only watch, frozen, as their wounded god performs its final, terrible sacrament. The dust settles to reveal a scene of utter carnage, and Old Scar, its sides heaving, stands amidst the slaughter for a long moment before its great legs buckle. It does not fall with a crash, but with a slow, grinding surrender, collapsing onto its side with a shuddering groan that seems to shake the very foundations of the world. Then, silence. The god is dead. The silence is more terrifying than any roar. The protective aura that has defined their lives for generations has vanished. They are naked, exposed, and the watchers emerge from the heat haze. The Austroraptor pack, drawn by the sounds of the kill, slinks into view. They see the dead giant. They see the scattered prey, and they see the small, terrified clan, There is no caution in their approach now, only predatory certainty. This is the end. But as the late raptor screeches, a sound of triumphant hunger, something shifts in Kale. Grief and terror ignite into a new, unfamiliar fire. He looks at the colossal corpse beside them. It is not just a dead protector. It is a legacy. It is an arsenal. But chief, he rasps, scrambling toward the giant's head. Una understands instantly. The clan converges on the body, not for meat, but for weapons. They use heavy stones to smash at the jaw, breaking loose the serrated, dagger-like teeth. They snap off the ends of ribs, creating jagged spears. This is the birth of osteodontocratic technology, forged in the crucible of absolute despair. They arm themselves. As the raptors close in, they are met not by cowering prey, but by a ring of small, furious apes brandishing the fangs of a dead god. Kale stands at the front, a Giganotosaurus tooth the length of his forearm clutched in his hand. They are no longer shadows. In a unified, desperate roar, they charge, and for the first time, the raptors hesitate. The dinosaur fight is not one of brawn, but of will. The hunters have become the hunted, and the scavengers have inherited the earth. The nights are colder now, without the ambient body heat of a sleeping titan nearby, but the clan is not without shelter. They live inside the cage of old Scar's ribs, a cathedral of bone that arcs over them, a constant, tangible reminder of their transformation. They are no longer the dust-minus walkers, the ghosts who followed. They are the bone-minus carvers, a clan forged anew. They butchered the great carcass with a reverence that was both sorrowful and practical, feasting on the flesh that had once been their protector, now their sustenance. They learned it, the heft and balance of its teeth, the piercing power of its shattered bones. They became hunters. When the raptors returned, they were met with a coordinated defense, a spear wall of sharpened bone that held the line. The scavengers had learned the most important lesson of all from the death of their god. The greatest power was not the strength of a single apex predator, but the unified courage of the many. They had stood on the brink, looked into the maw of extinction, and had chosen to carve their destiny from the very bones of the monster that had once defined their existence. Their single, desperate choice to stop following and start fighting was a quiet thunderclap in the long saga of hominid history, an echo of the audacity that would one day allow their descendants to claim the world. Their survival was no longer a matter of proximity to power, but the discovery of it within themselves. Because the whispers of the first fire and the shadow of the first giant are still etched into the bedrock of our bones. We are the children of the impossible gamble. But from the depths of the black water, something even older was beginning to stir.